What's up guys, Judo Sloth here and welcome to some Town Hall 11 3-star attacks including Bowlers, Valkyries, Witches, the PEKKA and even some Hog Riders in the last attack. I do apologise for the lack of videos the last week. As I mentioned in a previous video, I have recently changed jobs and it has just been a very busy week for me at work. So I have actually still been able to get lots of footage this last week, so plenty of attacks for you guys. I did actually pull off 2 nice attacks using the BD Dragloon strategy in this war, so I'll try and get them out to you very shortly. And I'm also going to make a guide for the style of attacks that you'll see here today. So they're mainly for these island ring style bases, and it mainly involves using bowlers to take a massive amount of the outside of the base out and then using different troops in order to get to the core. We like to use Valkyries, quite popular, but Witches have also been bringing us a lot of success. Every once in a while you can pull off a 3-star, as you'll see with a lot of these attacks, but it is also a solid 2-star strategy. So like I said, I'll get you a guide for this very shortly and let's get into the attack. So you can see Chaos here starting with a Queen Walk from the south of the base, uses the Grand Warden as well in order to help boost the Queen's health, using the poison spell on the enemy Queen to slow her down. I did do a recent video on this testing the use of poison spell on heroes, and you can see she takes it down rather easily, especially with them healers keeping her alive. Did use a rage spell as well though, just to boost her health. As that moves forward, we then bring some giants in, help to build a bit of tankage in front of the bowlers, and here they come from the west. So the aim here is to build a solid army alongside the Queen, who is obviously walking in this clockwise motion around the base. The bowlers can help reinforce that, and they will be strong enough to take out a massive portion of the base and actually just continue to walk around the outside. Now at this point, in terms of the 2-star strategy, you can see Jump Spell comes in. Where we broke into the wall initially, that is perfect for the Valkyries to come through. They're going to funnel straight into the core, and we can use a Rage Spell to absolutely wreck it. What you will find with a lot of these island ring style bases is that the core is very compact. Of them high hit point, damage dealing defenses, the Valkyries can get in there and just take them all out in one shot. Now a jump spell is obviously very important to get them in there. You'll see on this one we had some Witches back around and help the Valkyries as well. Miners are also a very good choice actually. They'll go under the walls and straight into the core. You may have seen that strategy, quite popular, especially before the miner nerf anyway. But the bowlers continue to walk along the side here. Often the Grand Warden will stick with the bowlers and help give them that boost as they walk right the way around the edge of the base. You'll see on this one he followed the Queen through the middle. Doesn't mind either way because the Queen still has them healers on her this entire raid, and you'll see a couple of wizards at the top there might be able to nip that wizard tower, but at this point it is all time. Generally speaking, it is a rather quick raid. We did actually have an attack maybe 1 or 2 wars ago where we got a 97% against one of the top Town Hall 11s. Just ran out of time with this strategy, but you'll see on this one, the Queen is going to get through this wall, have no issue taking down the wizard tower. Imagine if that giant bomb had really put the nail in the coffin and finished the Queen off, but it doesn't. 3 stars in a very nice raid. So let's move on to the next one. Very similar style of attack you can see with the bowlers and the Valkyries, starting off very similar with the Queen Walk down in the south. This one was actually from our most recent war, but I thought I'd slip it in here because it was a very nice attack. The other ones are from the same war as the first attack. You'll see we actually have more Witches in this one, 4 Witches, and there's even a sneaky PEKKA in there as well. But you will see exactly the same. The Grand Warden is there to help the Queen with the walk along the side here, just creating a nice funnel, but again, not wasting much time. As soon as we know which direction she's going to walk in, we can reinforce that with the bowlers, the Witches. You can see the PEKKA there as well. Unfortunately, the Eagle Artillery has locked onto the PEKKA, but there is a lot of time to get that down. The Grand Warden's aura, I don't know if you saw the health of the Queen there, but that was absolutely perfect timing. The bowlers are pushed right around the side there, along with all the other troops, the Witches, and then you can see again this nice path. The jump spell comes in, Valkyries are going to be drawn to the Eagle Artillery. Doesn't actually matter because the bowlers have wiped out that core, but as long as we can get the Eagle Artillery down, that will be a massive help. Look at the huge jump that PEKKA took in order to take out the king. We also have a PEKKA walk going on because the healers have locked onto that, but with the core down and so many troops left up, again it's looking very nice for the 3-star, and it's just a case of time and letting these troops finish up. Lots of bowlers helping the Queen and the Grand Warden. The PEKKA actually walked right into the line of all of the defences, so that's going to go down rather quickly, but a big group of bowlers protecting the Witches that are bringing all of them skeletons forward, and there's only really these couple of splash damage defences to get through, and then the Witches are rather safe. Again, effectively using the bowlers to walk right around the outside of the base, just making sure that there was some troops to get into the core. Valkyries weren't even needed because sometimes the bowlers and your troops going around the side can reach the core. In a way, you want them to keep walking around the side in order to have a chance of the 3-star and just use them small amount of troops to get into the core. You'll see on this one that there's more than enough troops left over to get the job done, even have enough time to go up the top, take out them final buildings and get a very nice 3-star against this max Town Hall 11. I love the fact that the PEKKA was even used on that raid as well. Love seeing the PEKKA back in action. This time we are hitting up 5 Witches within this attack. We're up to 5. Witches are back. No Valkyries in this one, just using the Witches to get into the core and take it out. But again, it's going to be a very similar strategy, using the bowlers to get right around the outside of the base, create that funnel so that them small army of troops can get into the core and take that town hall down. Now I actually think, judging on the wall breaker deployment, he wanted to go clockwise around this base. Queen doesn't want to listen, she goes the opposite way, but it's just about being flexible, and this attack strategy really, it doesn't matter which way you go around the base, as long as you reinforce them with the bowlers and they walk right around the side. Ideally you want to try and get the Eagle Artillery down first so it's not constantly smashing away at your troops, but you do also have to take into consideration the position of the clan castle. You can see on this one we come from the clan castle side first so that we can get them troops down, and it means that whatever troops you're sending into the core aren't then getting distracted by the clan castle troops when they're in the middle of all them high damage defences as well. So probably clan castle the most important. If you can get the Eagle Artillery, great. You can see the bowlers created a nice funnel on the west, and actually all of the troops pushed into the core. I know I was saying earlier that it's quite nice to have the bowlers walk around the side and have a select army for the core, but you will see that we have a back end jump spell on this raid, so all of the troops can just come straight out the other end of the core and they're not getting smashed on from all the different directions. Ultimately, that will have had a massive impact on the outcome of the raid, and really what transitions this into a 3-star. I know it's really going back to them early clan war days of jumping out of the core, but sometimes it is going back to basics, and if you can get massive amount of troops into the core, especially with your Grand Warden helping with the aura, then using the jump to get out the other side, just really helps to keep your troops alive so they're not taking damage from all different directions. More than enough here with the bowlers helping the heroes to finish off the raid. So you can see that we found, especially with these ground attacks, still heavy use of the bowlers, but it is very nice to see a bit of flexibility with the troops. We've seen plenty of Witches, Valkyries, the PEKKA. Like I say, miners are also a good choice. I've even been playing around with the baby dragons, pushing them to the core and using a rage spell. This attack even uses Hog Riders, so I wanted to bring you it. I know it's not a max base, but you don't see Hog Riders very much at this level. The base is set up beautifully actually, how Tiny uses the bowlers to get into the core and then the Hog Riders to run right the way around the outside. So you'll see, starting off from the west here, all of the bowlers come in along with all of the heroes, the Grand Warden's aura, 2 jump spells carefully placed just to provide access and a straight path down to the core, making sure not to provide access to the compartments to the left and right. That's very important. It makes sure that the bowlers can push as one big group into the core and means that they can take all of that out, because we're going to use the Hog Riders right around the proximity of the base. Very nice how them couple of bowlers actually split off and took the bomb tower to the west. That's where all of the Hog Riders come in. They're starting to take out the defenses here, and you will see that most of the traps were actually in the core of the base themselves. 3 giant bombs right next to each other. That makes it ideal for the Hog Riders just to come around the outside, and you can see just how much of an easy time they're having. We do have a heal spell, but 1 heal spell for all of them hogs to get around the entire edge of this base. Use of the heal spell comes in with that area where there's a little bit of gaps between the defenses, possibility for more giant bombs, but I really like how Tiny took advantage of this base, the fact that all of them bombs were in the center, got the bowlers very nicely into there and took all of that out, and then the Hog Riders, as you've seen, have just had an easy time going right around the edge. Takes out all of the defenses, and then look how many are left over for cleanup. Do have one bowler that is doing a marvellous job down the bottom here with that single archer. The Queen has been taking out the storages and them high hit point buildings around the core, and then the Hog Riders, plenty of them left up in order to take out the rest of these buildings and wrap up another Town Hall 11 3-star attack. So I hope you enjoyed this one, using a variety of troops to achieve the 3 stars. I've been your host Judo Sloth. Make sure to subscribe for more Clash of Clans, and until next time, peace out guys. Stay tuned for more Clash of Clans.